Okay, yeah, no, it clearly says my son. So, could be reading too much into it. When we get to it, we'll see what you think. And we can see what type of man Enoch is here. Afterwards, my great grandfather Enoch seized me with his hand, raising me up and saying to me, "Stop whining like a little bitch." I think Enoch would say, "You have to master your being or it'll master you." And then here's something I think that may be funny. Noah, right here, gets up, stands up, and walks to Enoch. Um, Later on, Enoch's son Methuselah will get up, stand up, and he'll go to the ends of the earth, and he doesn't know where Enoch is. And I think he calls out to him. It's like, "Enoch, Enoch, wherefore art thou, Enoch?" And Enoch finds Methuselah. So there's a different type of relationship between Enoch and Noah and Enoch and Methuselah. I think this shows that Enoch really doesn't have any much respect for Methuselah, but he pretends to. So I think that this is kind of funny. Again, this is lighthearted, and if you're not lighthearted, you might take this all like very seriously. But I think Enoch is just having some fun here. Possibly. I mean, there's some definite differences between these two relationships. Enoch seems to have more respect for Noah than Methuselah. Um, because Enoch's ways are Noah's ways. But anyways, so there could be something there. And so with his respectful face that he shows to Methuselah, it's funny, but that's also, I think, an example of the mist. Um, if your son's an idiot, there's not much you can do. So Enoch puts on a face of respect as if he does respect him. That's the mist. And Enoch is inviting us, I think, to see past the mist of his respect for Methuselah, which would be kind of funny because he's going to pass on these secrets to Methuselah and the generations beyond, right? And so that basically means, you, Methuselah, aren't going to understand it, but one of your children might. Um, Boom, bada boom. All right, let us continue. I'm just going to start here. In those days, the word of God came to me and said, "Noah, behold, thy lot has ascended up to me, a lot void of crime, a lot beloved and upright. Now then shall the angels labor at the trees, but when they proceeded to this, I will put my hand upon it and preserve it. The seed of life shall arise from it, and a change shall take place, that the dry land may not be left empty. I will establish thy seed before me for ever and ever, and the seed of those who dwell with thee on the surface of the earth. It shall be blessed and multiplied in the presence of the earth, in the name of the Lord. And they shall confine those angels who disclosed impiety. In that burning valley it is that they shall be confined, which at first my great grandfather Enoch showed me in the west, where there were mountains of gold and silver, of iron, of fluid metal, and of tin. I beheld that valley in which there was a great perturbation, and where the waters were troubled. And when all this was affected from the fluid mass of fire, and the perturbation which prevailed in that place, there arose a strong smell of sulphur, which became mixed with the waters, and the valley of the angels, who had been guilty of seduction, burned underneath its soil. Through that valley also rivers of fire were flowing, to which those angels shall be condemned, who seduced the inhabitants of the earth. And in those days shall these waters be to kings, to princes, and to the exalted, and to the inhabitants of the earth, for the healing of the soul and body, and for the judgment of the spirit. Their spirits shall be full of revelry, sport, that they may be judged in their bodies, because they have denied the Lord of spirits, and although they perceive their condemnation day by day, they believe not in his name. And as the inflammation of their bodies shall be great, so shall their spirits undergo a change forever. For no word which is uttered before the Lord of spirits shall be in vain, judgment has come upon them because they trusted in their carnal revelry, denied the Lord of spirits. In those days shall the waters of that valley be changed, for when the angels shall be judged, then shall the heat of those springs of water experience an alteration. So I think the angels are the false religious leaders, because when the angels are judged, the springs will experience an alteration. So I think that's kind of clear. The angels aren't talking about angels being judged. I think the angels are the false religious leaders. And they shall be judged by the people of being unrighteous, I think, is what is going on here. I don't know. What do you think? And when the angels shall ascend, the waters of the springs shall again undergo a change and be frozen. Then I heard holy Michael answering and saying, this judgment with which the angels shall be judged shall bear testimony against the kings, the princes, and those who possess the earth. For these waters of judgment shall be for their healing, and for the death of their bodies. But they shall not perceive and believe that the waters will be changed and become a fire, which shall blaze forever. I don't know. I'm like here. I think I wrote this on my first read through, and I wrote this on my first read through. But it's like I'm fishing for meaning, I'm just. I mean, don't be afraid to be wrong, and don't be afraid to disagree with me. I could be wrong on all of this, right? So let us converse. But yeah, no, I think I'm like, I don't know what I was saying here. Yeah. After this, he gave me the characteristical marks, the signs of all the secret things in the book of my great-grandfather Enoch, and in the parables which had been given to him, inserting them for me among the words of the book of parables. Okay, I think this is an example, and later on, maybe we passed it up, I don't think so, but this is an example of book propagation, right? If you think about book propagation in our day, I mean, you want to throw some sex and violence in, and but book propagation throughout history has been all about appealing to the man who is going to pass on the book. So it's about appealing to the book lovers or the book worshippers. And so I think what Enoch is doing here is he is, after this, he gave me the characteristical signs of all the secret things in the book of my great-grandfather Enoch, right? So it's like he's playing with the minds of these book lovers, right? Because book lovers, oh my goodness, they would love books with secret things in them, right? And this right here, this is going to be a book with secret things. So this is a book that you want to pass down. And so what I say he's doing here is he's playing with their minds in order to get this book passed on. And so in this, Enoch is more like a secret society member than he is like, a jolly good fellow. He is wise as a serpent right here. He would love to probably walk around Madison Avenue, and there'd probably be a lot of laughter. I mean, I think this is the type of man Enoch is. This is a man again with a warm heart, a good heart. So I think he is a follower of Moses. But I think here he's playing with their minds. Because it's all about book propagation. Another example of him trying to propagate this book is he tries to put as much Torah cred on this as he can, right? Because who are some of the book lovers out there? good Jewish men who love their sons and they want to pass on. So, like, there's the scene with Enoch and Methuselah, and he's manipulating their minds into passing on because they love God just like Enoch, and they love their sons just like Enoch. So, just like Enoch, they too are going to pass on these books, right? He's playing with their hearts here in order to propagate these books. So this, I think, is classic Mesopotamian shit, maybe. Um, but this is a different type of man, I think. Anyways, uh, at that time, holy Michael answered and said to Raphael, "The power of the Spirit hurries me away and impels me on. The severity of the judgment, of the secret judgment of the angels, who is capable of beholding?" Like, I didn't know what I was saying here. Well, like, I don't know how it connects. The endurance of that severe judgment which has taken place and been made permanent without being melted at the sight of it. Endurance melting at the sight of it. Again, holy Michael answered and said to holy Raphael, "Who is there whose heart has not softened by it, and whose reins are not troubled at this thing? Judgment has gone forth against them by those who have thus dragged them away, and that was when they stood in the presence of the Lord of Spirits." So, I mean, like, what if you were to put a na spin on this, right? Who is there whose heart is not softened by it, whose reins are not troubled at this thing? Like, maybe he's mocking them. This is a different type of, and then I could be wrong on that, but what do you think? I mean, like, when you put different spirits sometime, it just changes the meanings. Judgment has gone forth against them by those who have thus dragged them away, and that was when they stood in the presence of the Lord of Spirits. In like manner also holy Rachael said to Raphael, "They shall not be before the eye of the Lord, since the Lord of Spirits has been offended with them. For like lords they have conducted themselves. Therefore will he bring upon them a secret judgment for ever and ever. For neither shall angel nor man receive a portion of it, but they alone shall receive their own judgment for ever and ever. After this judgment they shall be astonished and irritated, for it shall be exhibited to the inhabitants of the earth. Behold the names of those angels. These are their names. The first of them is Samyaza, the second Arstikafa, the third Armen, the fourth Kakabaal, the fifth Terel, the sixth Rumiel, the seventh Daniel, the eighth Kael, the ninth Barakel, the 10th Azazel, the 11th Armers, the 12th Batarial, the 13th Basasael, the 14th Ananel, the 15th Terial, the 16th Simapeseel, the 17th Yeterel, the 18th Tumael, the 19th Tarel, the 20th Rumel, the 21st Azaziel. These are the chiefs of their angels, and the names of their leaders of their hundreds, and the leaders of their 50s, and the leaders of their 10s. The name of the first is Yakun. He it was who seduced all the sons of the holy angels, and causing them to descend on earth, led astray the offspring of men. The name of the second is Kesabel, who pointed out evil counsel to the sons of the holy angels, and induced them to corrupt their bodies by generating mankind. The name of the third is Gadrel. He discovered every stroke of death to the children of men. He seduced Eve and discovered to the children of men the instruments of death, the coat of mail, the shield, and the sword for slaughter. every instrument of death to the children of men. From his hand were these things derived to them who dwell upon earth, from that period forever. The name of the fourth is Penemue. He discovered to the children of men bitterness and sweetness, right? This is false condemnation and false praise, right? Like conspiracy theorist, right? False condemnation, false praise. And pointed out to them every secret of their wisdom. He taught men to understand writing and the use of ink and paper. If you teach literacy without teaching critical thinking, that is mind control. Therefore, numerous have been those who have gone astray from every period of the world, even to this day. For men were not born for this, thus with pen and with ink to confirm their faith. Since they were not created, except that, like the angels, they might remain righteous and pure. Nor would death, which destroys everything, have affected them. But by this their knowledge they perish, and by this also its power consumes them. So, I think maybe what he's saying here is that you like what I just said, critical thinking, and it goes back to God has power over all things, right? They don't have power over him. So maybe he's saying that you should have power over your books. Don't agree with everything Enoch is saying. Think for yourself. This is all about an intimate relationship. This is not about him dictating to you. Maybe this is, what he's saying. The books should not have power over you. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? The name of the fifth is Cassiare. He discovered to the children of men every wicked stroke of spirits and of demons, the stroke of the embryo in the womb to diminish it, the stroke of the spirit by the bite of the serpent, and the stroke which is given in the midday by the offspring of the serpent, the name of which is Tabaet. This is the number of the Kesbel, the principal part of the oath which the Most High, dwelling in glory, revealed to the holy ones. Its name is Becca. He spoke to the holy Michael to discover to them the sacred name, that they might understand the secret name and thus remember the oath, and that those who pointed out every secret thing to the children of men might tremble at the name of that oath, at that name and oath. This is the power of that oath, for powerful it is and strong. Okay, I see what I'm saying. Yeah, so he spoke to holy Michael to discover to them the sacred name. So what's the sacred name? I think the sacred name is love. Right, because we talk about an oath here, right? That's like a bond. And I think everything that follows it's all about love. So let's see, what do you think? This is the power of that oath, for powerful it is and strong. Like this is like riddles coming up, I think. He established this oath of Akae by the instrumentality of holy Michael. And Michael, is of virtues, right? So love would be the top virtue, maybe. I don't know. That's why, that's good little boy Abel, he's got love. He's got the top virtue in him. It's just not wisdom, I think Enoch would say, maybe. Like a little child's game of virtue. Anyways. These are the secrets of this oath, and by it were they confirmed. Heaven was suspended by it before the world was made forever. You see, I think that sounds beautiful. By it has the earth been founded upon the flood, while from the concealed parts of the hills the agitated waters proceeded forth from the creation to the end of the world. By this oath the sea has been formed, and the foundation of it. During the period of its fury he has established the sand against it, which continues unchanged forever. And by this oath the abyss has been made strong, nor is it removable from its station forever and ever. By this oath the sun and moon complete their progress, never swerving from the command given to them forever and ever. By this oath the stars complete their progress, and when their names are called they return an answer forever and ever. Thus in the heavens take place the blowings of the winds, all of them have breathings, and effect a complete combination of breathings. There the treasures of thunder are kept, and the splendor of the lightning. There are kept the treasures of hail and of frost, the treasures of snow, the treasures of rain and of dew. All these confess and laud before the Lord of spirits. They glorify with all their power of praise. He sustains them in all that act of thanksgiving, while they laud, glorify, and exalt the name of the Lord of spirits forever. And with them he establishes this oath by which they and their paths are preserved. Nor does their progress perish. Great was their joy. They blessed, glorified, and exalted because the name of the Son of Man was revealed to them. Enoch, Enoch. He sat upon the throne of his glory, and the principal part of the judgment was assigned to him, the Son of Man. Sinners shall disappear and perish from the face of the earth, while those who seduce them shall be bound with chains forever. According to their ranks of corruption shall they be imprisoned, and all their works shall disappear from the face of the earth. Nor thenceforward shall there be any to corrupt, for the Son of Man has been seen sitting on the throne of his glory. Everything wicked shall disappear and depart from before his face. The word of the Son of Man shall become powerful in the presence of the Lord of spirits. This is the third parable of Enoch. Okay, so, like, this love stuff. Like, if you start around here, probably before, and if you think oath, or if you think the sacred name is love, and he's talking about love, I mean, it really makes all of this stuff really beautiful. The thunders are kept, and the splendor of the lightning, right? The will and the heart. They're great with their joy. Okay, now right around here he starts to, like, condemn the sinners, and we're off of love here. But I mean, you could really see that the sinners are condemned because they're not lovers. And so maybe we can see this is what he means by sinner, right? Because we put a puritanical spin upon everything, It's like a sinner means that you can't have any dick fun. But if you believe in a creator God, then the creator created a hard dick and a wet pussy. So if you condemn the hard dick and the wet pussy, then you're condemning the creator. So, I mean, you can easily flip anything, anywhere, anytime. And so I think maybe this is what he means by sinners, those who were without love, right? Because we have all this, it's all about love. It's all about love. I mean, that's basically up there, and it's by love that these people are being condemned, right? After this, the name of the Son of Man living with the Lord of spirits was exalted by the inhabitants of the earth. It was exalted in the chariots of the Spirit, and the name went forth in the midst of them. From that time I was not drawn in the midst of them, but he seated me between two spirits, between the north and the west, where the angels received their ropes to measure out a place for the elect and the righteous. There I beheld the fathers of the first men, and the saints who dwell in that place forever. Afterwards my spirit was concealed, ascending into the heavens. I beheld the sons of the holy angels treading on flaming fire, whose garments and robes were white, and whose countenances were transparent as crystal. I saw two rivers of fire glittering like the hyacinth. Then I fell on my face before the Lord of Spirits, and Michael, one of the archangels, took me by my right hand, raised me up, and brought me out to where was every secret of mercy and secret of righteousness. He showed me all the hidden things of the extremities of heavens, all the receptacles of the stars and the splendors of all, from whence they went forth before the face of the Holy. He concealed the spirit of Enoch in the heaven of heavens. There I beheld in the midst of that light a building raised with stones of ice, and in the midst of these stones vibrations of living fire. My spirit saw around the circle of this flaming habitation, on one of its extremities, that there were rivers full of living fire which encompassed it. And then the seraphim, the cherubim, and Ophanim surrounded it. These are those who never sleep, but watch the throne of his glory. And I beheld angels innumerable, thousands of thousands and myriads of myriads, who surrounded that habitation. Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Phanuel, and the holy angels who were in the heavens above went in and out of it. Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel went out of that habitation, and holy angels innumerable. With them was the Ancient of Days, whose head was white as wool and pure, and his robe was indescribable. Then I fell upon my face, while all my flesh was dissolved, and my spirit became changed. I cried out with a loud voice, with a powerful spirit, blessing, glorifying, and exalting. And those blessings which proceeded from my mouth became acceptable in the presence of the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days came with Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phanuel, with thousands and myriads of myriads which could not be numbered. Then that angel came to me, with his voice saluted me. Thou art the offspring of man, who art born for righteousness, and righteousness has rested on thee. Righteousness of the Ancient of Days shall not forsake thee. He said, on thee shall he confer peace in the name of the existing world, for from thence has peace gone forth since the world was created. And thus shall it happen to thee forever and ever. All who exist and all who walk in thy path of righteousness shall not forsake thee forever. With thee shall be their habitations, with thee their lot, nor from thee shall they be separated forever and ever. Thus shall the length of days be with the offspring of man. Peace shall be to the righteous, and the path of integrity shall the righteous pursue, in the name of the Lord of Spirits, forever and ever. All right. The book of the revolutions of the luminaries of heaven according to their respective classes, their respective powers, their respective periods, their respective names, the places where they commence their progress, and their respective months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, explained to me, he who conducts them, the whole account of them according to every year of the world, forever, until a new work shall be effected, which will be eternal. This is the first law of the luminaries. The sun and the light arrive at the gate of heaven, which are on the east, and on the west of it at the western gates of heaven. All right, I'm just gonna keep reading, but this is, I think, the beginning of his astrology part, and his astrology part is locked to me. So any help out there? Like, I have my theories, and this video is about ended. So I'll put those theories out on the next video. But for now, I'm just going to keep reading for a couple more minutes. I beheld the gates whence the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets, in which the gates also the moon rises and sets. And I beheld the conductors of the stars among those who precede them. 6 gates were at the rising, and 6 at the setting of the sun. All these respectively, one after another, are on a level, and numerous windows are on the right and on the left sides of those gates. First proceeds forth that great luminary, which is called the sun, the orb of which is as the orb of heaven, the whole of it being replete with splendid and flaming fire. Its chariot, where it ascends, the wind blows. Okay. The sun sets in heaven, and returning to the north, to proceed towards the east, is conducted so as to enter by that gate and illuminate the face of heaven. In the same manner it goes forth in the first month by a great gate. It goes forth through the fourth of those 6 gates which are at the rising of the sun. In the 4th gate through which the sun with the moon proceeds in the first part of it, there are 12 open windows, from which issues out a flame when they are opened at their proper periods. When the sun rises in the heaven, it goes forth through this 4th gate 30 days, and by the 4th gate in the west of heaven on a level with it descends. During that period the day is lengthened from the day, and the night curtailed from the night for 30 days. Then the day is longer by 2 parts than the night. The day is precisely 10 parts, and the night is 8. The sun goes forth through this 4th gate and sets in it, and turns to the 5th gate during 30 days, after which it proceeds from and sets in the 5th gate. Then the day becomes lengthened by a second portion, so that it is 11 parts, while the night becomes shortened and is only 7 parts. The sun now returns to the east, entering into the 6th gate, rising and setting in the 6th gate 31 days, on account of its signs. At that period the day is longer than the night, being twice as long as the night, and becomes 12 parts. But the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, and that day may be shortened and the night lengthened. And the sun returns towards the east, entering into the 6th gate, where it rises and sets for 30 days. When that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely 1 part, so that it is 11 parts, while the night is 7 parts. Then the sun goes from the west, from that 6th gate, and proceeds eastwards, rising in the 5th gate for 30 days, and setting again westwards in the 5th gate of the west. At that period the day becomes shortened 2 parts, and is 10 parts, while the night is 8 parts. Then the sun goes from the 5th gate as it sets in the 5th gate of the west, and rises in the 4th gate for 31 days, on account of its signs setting in the west. At that period the day is made equal with the night, and being equal with it, the night becomes 9 parts, and the day 9 parts. Then the sun goes from that gate as it sets in the west, and returning to the west proceeds by the 3rd gate for 30 days, setting in the west at the 3rd gate. At that period the night is lengthened from the day by 30 during 30 mornings, and is curtailed from the day during 30 days, the night being 10 parts precisely, and the day 8 parts. So, boom.